Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join me as we try and answer the question, which is the greatest playoff final of all time? I've been asked this question a fair amount, as you can imagine, running a YouTube channel, especially at the end of the season. However, we are in international break mode and I've got the time to do it, so I've done it. So we're going to do my top 6 playoff finals of all time. They can be very, very cagey affairs, these playoff finals, particularly as the years have gone on. 12 out of 31 have been 1-0. And who will forget that god-awful Huddersfield-Reading playoff final we had a few years ago that was 0-0 and ended up being won on penalties by Huddersfield. So we're looking for the best ones, but boy, when they deliver, they really, really do deliver. So I'm going to go through my top 6 as ever. Get your comments in on yours. But come on, guys. Come on. Please leave your bias at the door. I know playoff finals are special. I've been to quite a few actually now. I'm very lucky. And I've seen my team win a playoff final. So obviously I know what your favourite playoff final is. It's the one where your team won. But we're trying to judge what the best final was. The narrative, the battle, the storyline. What was the best game? Not your favourite. So get your lists down there. Try and do your top 6 if you can, or your top 5 or your top 3. Just please mention more than one if you do want to comment down below, which of course is the cornerstone of YouTube. So please do get your comments in. Shall we begin? Enough of my inane rambling at the beginning. We start with number 6. 2010, Blackpool 3, Cardiff 2. There is your league table. Cardiff in 4th. So Blackpool winning from 6th position. And I do believe, if I remember from researching other playoff videos, that is the fewest points, 70, that a playoff winner has needed to get promoted. So well done, Ollie. Well done, Blackpool. There are the teams. It was attack with Holloway's Blackpool, wasn't it? Look, Campbell, Taylor Fletcher, Ormerod, and basically Charlie Adam can do what the hell he likes in that team. Cardiff under Dave Jones. Look, lot of championship hardened players there. Look, McPhail, ex of Leeds, Ledley, Bothroyd got called up. The great Peter Whittingham, and Chopra was always good for goals. Well, except when he was playing for Ipswich, but there we go. Shall we do it? All of the goals in the first half in this one. There's the opener. Chopra. Through he goes. Whittingham, obviously, a little thread through. Great finish to pop that one in on the angle. From there, 1-0 Cardiff. But what a goal. And there's not going to be many better in this video than that one. Charlie Adam miles out, banging that free kick in with, frankly, his banger of a left foot. Wow, goes into the top corner to Marshall's left-hand side. But great goal, this one. Whittingham again, threading through Joe Ledley. Not really his game, that, but he gets on the end of it, makes the third man run from midfield and finishes beautifully there with the left foot for 2-1. However, bit of a scrambly one here. Marshall, flappy, Taylor Fletcher forces it home 2-2. And before we can even get to half-time, there is Brett Ormerod. You can see all the bodies flung in the way, but Ormerod puts it in for 3-2 in first half stoppage time. Sensational stuff. So, I mean, I know a lot of people like to bet on behind at half-time, winning at full-time. Blackpool were behind twice in the first half, and 5 goals in that first half. Actually went in at half-time, 3-2 up, and survived the second half to tell the tale. So not necessarily the greatest story over the whole 90 minutes, but what a first half, and what a goal by Charlie Adam in that one. Holloway, the first of 2 playoff wins for him. Cardiff, they lose in the semis for the next 2 seasons, but in the end they do win the championship title there in 2013. So that is number 6 is Blackpool 3, Cardiff 2. Let's have a look at number 5. And Hallow Reading, maybe not for the first time in this list. 2011, Reading 2, Swansea City 4. And Swansea, a lot of people who are a bit snarky about the playoffs like it when third place wins. 80 points there for the Swans. And they beat Reading in the final 4-2. Reading finishing there in fifth. There are the teams. Look out for Kizanishvili, who has one of the most hapless playoff final performances, I think it's safe to say. For Swansea, who are going to go on into the Premier League. Look, future manager Gary Monk there, Joe Allen, Scott Sinclair, some players who go on to have some really, really decent careers. Let's have a look at the goals. And Sinclair sticks in the opener from the spot after a foul on Nathan Dyer. And then, literally 1 minute later, playoff final guru, we'll talk about him in a minute, Stephen Dobbie assists Sinclair for a second. Bang, bang, as Mick Foley would say, on 21 and 22 minutes. And would you Adam and Eve it? 3-0. Stephen Dobbie, did I say Scott Dobbie a minute ago? Stephen Dobbie, great finish. I mentioned Kizanishvili because he concedes the penalty for the first. He gets run past for the second one. And it's his clearance that Dobbie puts in. And why do I mention Dobbie? Because he was in the previous game as well. He wins 2 years running, once with Blackpool, once with Swansea. Sensational. 3-0 up at half-time. But what do you want when you're 3-0 down at half-time? You want a goal in the first 5 minutes of the second half. There is Noel Hunt heading in on 49 minutes to make it 3-1. By God, Matt Mills on 57 minutes. Another set play, and it's 3-2. And not for the first time in this video, look away now, Reading fans, because at 3-2, that is Jem Karachan, spot the ball, hits the post at 3-2. So close to an incredible 3-0 to 3-3 comeback. But at the end of the game, it's another penalty. Griffin brings down Burton. Scott Sinclair sticks in the hat-trick. Okay, there's 2 pens in there, but hat-trick's a hat-trick, especially in a playoff final. I wonder if we'll get another hat-trick in a playoff final later in this video. Hold that thought. And there are Swansea, who had a great little run in the Premier League. As I say, Brendan Rodgers, the manager there, Monk, takes over. Michael Laudrup wins a trophy for them. And if you're worried about Reading, they win the title the next season under Brian McDermott. Great stuff. That's my number 5. And oh, it had to be in there, didn't it? My number 4, and I promise my bias is left at the door here. Barnsley 2, Ipswich Town 4 in 2000, and I was there. And that is a heavyweight score for a playoff team. Look at that, 87 points. Joe Royle's Man City managing to get ahead of Ipswich, who in that era were in the playoffs 4 seasons running, and 87 points is a rather high total for a playoff team. But Barnsley under Dave Bassett, fair dues, 82. It's 3rd versus 4th. And there are the teams. Bassett builds that Barnsley team pretty quickly, if memory serves. Shipley, Dyer, Hignett went on to have a great career as well in the Premier League with people like Blackburn. And experienced heads as well. Steve Chettle, Jeff Thomas on the bench as well. And what a great Ipswich team that was. They're going to go and finish 5th in the Premier League after that. Marcus Stewart, the key guy up front. Matt Holland's going to have a great career. And Tony Mowbray playing his last ever game. What a way to go out. But look there, Richard Naylor on after 22 minutes in this one. And the story was that Ipswich tried to get up year after year. Improved a little bit each season, but ultimately came short. But they're going to get the win, but they're going to do it the hard way because Craig Hignett is so far from goal. You can't even see the goal. No backlift. What a shot. Hits the bar off Richard Wright's back in for 1-0. We mentioned Mowbray. Not only is he going to go out with a playoff win, he's going to score as well. A towering header by Mowbray on 28 minutes to equalise there. But I said they're going to do it the hard way. Penalty for Barnsley just before half-time. Darren Barnard misses. Incredible. Who'd be an Ipswich fan, hey? Ipswich come out after the second half and they are exceptional for the next 15 minutes. They're going to bang in 2 goals to think they're making the game safe. There's Richard Naylor having the game of his life to make it 2-1 to Ipswich. And the comeback seemingly complete there with an absolute picture book goal on 58 minutes by Marcus Stewart. Go out of your way to see that. Yeah, my favourite player of all time as well. But, of course, Ipswich are going to do it the hard way. Penalty again. This time Hignett takes this one. Don't know why he didn't take the first one, Darren Barnard. But Hignett gets his second, and it's 3-2. And at 3-2, there's a great chance for Georgie Christoph to make it 3-3. Richard Wright makes the save. Barnsley piling forward, and on the breakaway, what a moment. 4 years of sorrow encapsulated as Martin Roycer goes through. Roycer, Premiership, said Peter Drury. What a moment. What a game. What a team. And Ipswich go on and finish 5th in the Premier League. Sadly, though, for Barnsley, they finished 16th, and Bassett's not around much longer as that team is broken up. Oh, the memories. Did I do well leaving my bias at the door there? Number 3, Swindon 4, Leicester City 3. What a final this was. There are Swindon and Leicester, and I must draw your gaze there. That is the biggest gap there, Portsmouth to Leicester, 12 points, and Leicester beat Portsmouth in the semi-final. Remember that season, Guy Whittingham scoring 42 goals for Pompey. But they don't get to the final. It's Swindon and Leicester. And one name just jumping off the page there. Look for Swindon. It says central midfielder. He played wherever he wanted. Sweeper, centre-back. Glenn Hoddle. Wow, one of the all-time greats. Still Swindon's best player. Frankly, probably the best player to play in a playoff final. Still, even at his age, what a player Hoddle was. And he's going to carry his team through in this one. Leicester were perennial playoff finalists in the early 90s. I think they get there something like 3 times in 4 seasons. Insane stuff. And this is one of them. And they're not going to make it through. Oh, go out of your way to see this one. Hoddle, look, he's just going to caress that ball into the net with the right foot. Brilliant stuff on 42. And just after half-time, Craig Maskell. It's a great finish. That's going in off the far post for 2-0 to Swindon. And on 53, would you believe, bang, 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 Taylor, so brave, look, throws himself into the header to get there ahead of Kevin Poole. 3-0. Wow, there's no coming back. Or is there? Because here come Leicester, Julian Jochin with the rebound from Steve Walsh. You can see just in the bottom of the shot, his header. 3-1. And then Walsh, who's going to actually score 2 goals in the playoff final, I think next season for Leicester against Derby, makes it 3-2. And then, incredibly, Thompson, great touch and outside of the foot, finish with the right foot to just outrun the Swindon defenders and make it 3-3. What a comeback. But, sting in the tail, penalty for Swindon. And Paul Bowden, you'll remember, missing famously a penalty for Wales that could have got them to the World Cup. Well, he scores this one and he doesn't get Wales to the World Cup, but he does get Swindon and Glenn Hoddle into the Premier League. And there they are celebrating, Hoddle and Gorman. However, Hoddle was gone 4 days later. He's going to go off to Chelsea and he's going to be at Wembley again, I think, the next season, playing in the, or managing rather. Did he play? I can't remember. In the FA Cup final against Manchester United. Going to go on and manage England as well. Leicester, as I say, playoff final again the next season. Steve Walsh scores 2 and they go up. So a little bit of a theme here where 2 of our losing teams have got promoted in the playoffs the next season. And Cardiff as well went up a few seasons later. So all's well that ends well, often. Shall we move on to our number 2? And it is Bolton 4, Reading 3 in 1995. Brilliant stuff. There is the table. Also, go out and check this one on YouTube because it's got Brian Moore, the great Brian Moore, commentating on it as well. What an absolute treat that was doing the research. And you will notice Reading are second. Why are Reading in the playoffs when they finish second? Well, Reading have to be the unluckiest team, surely, because this is the season the Premier League cuts itself down and only 2 teams go up. And Reading, it had to be, didn't it? They finish second and they lose in the playoff finals. 79 points. To be fair, Bolton are in 3rd position, but what a unlucky distinction for Reading. Second in the table and losing. And there is the opening goal. That is Lee Nogan. It's a great goal, actually. Takes on 2 and pops that in with the left foot. And they're 2-0 up in 12 minutes. Williams, their quick free kick, gets away. And look away now, Reading fans, because on 35 minutes, Lovell with the penalty against Keith Brannigan, who I believe would have been on the bench then for Ipswich in 2000 as well. Or did he come next season? I can't quite remember. He makes the save. What a sliding doors moment that is for Reading. Could have gone 3-0 up in the first half and missed the penalty. And I think we all know what's about to happen. But still, look, 75 minutes gone. It's only 15 to go and Reading is still 2-0 up. Owen Coyle, who is going to be a future Bolton manager, isn't he? Back post, big header there. And then 86th minute, Fabian De Freitas runs his man, sort of spins him and smacks it in from the angle there. Could have squared that. Is that John McGinley in the middle? But De Freitas, the super sub, gets the equaliser. And then, see McGinley, bottom of the picture there, number 10. Great header back across and Patalainen makes it 3-2. Remember, Reading had a penalty to go 3-0 up. I say super sub. Hislop there. Shaka Hislop playing in goal for Reading. He's going to go on and have a great career in the Premier League with Newcastle. De Freitas, he's stumbling. He's going to hit the rebound in and super sub. 2 goals. But, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if David Hopkins or Steve Claridge scored later than that, but 29 minutes, 51 seconds. Co-manager Jimmy Quinn, he scores to make it 4-3. What a match. Obviously, they don't come back and get the equaliser. Not enough time left, but incredible stuff. Bolton, a team that containing, you can see in the pitch there, Alan Stubbs, Jason McAteer, Alan Thompson. Some good players, but they don't manage to keep hold of all of them and ultimately are relegated the next season. But for Reading, oh my God, that missed penalty, what a sliding doors moment this is. They finish 19th, then 18th, and then they get relegated and spend 4 seasons down in the 3rd tier, all after missing a penalty in the playoff final to go 3-0 up. Wow. Sliding doors moment, ahoy. And I'm sure you've guessed it, at number 1. And sometimes these lists are really, really hard, but you just can't argue this one, can you? Charlton 4, Sunderland 4. Charlton wins 7-6 on penalties in 1998. And this is just epic. Absolutely epic. I remember watching it at the time. Ipswich lost to Charlton in the semi-final and I was at both legs. So I was well invested in this. And look at the 2 totals. Proper heavyweight there. Sunderland, 90 points and not promoted. Absolutely incredible. Check out my interview with Kevin Phillips, who's a chief protagonist in this game about that. Wow. But still, Charlton, we mentioned Ipswich being on 87. Look, 90 and 88. These are 2. It's just lightning in the bottle. 2 incredibly good teams that most other years would go up automatically. But sadly, Van Hooijdonk and Campbell's Forest and Brian Robson's Borough with the likes of Paul Gascoigne, they're finishing on 94 and 91 points. I think Paul Merson probably and Paul Ince, were they both playing for Borough at that point? You can see some of the names we're throwing out here. There are the teams, 4-4-2 against 4-4-2. And one thing to mention is that Charlton, I think they went 8 or 9 games without conceding a goal going into this. Incredibly good team that are going to have, they're going to bounce up and back down again, but a really good period in their history. Future internationals there, Danny Mills, you can see Mark Kinsella for Republic of Ireland, and Clive Mendonca is going to have the game of his life and perhaps the best individual performance in playoff final history. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. And that Sunderland team, just classic. Quinn and Phillips up the top there. Summerby and Johnston on the wings. They were superb, but they weren't superb enough to get over the line in this one. What a game and what a performance by Clive Mendonca. That still doesn't do justice. The absolutely brilliant sort of half dummy volley sort of turn he does to make the space. Brilliant goal by Mendonca for 1-0. We have to wait for the second half before Niall Quinn gets the equaliser there, a near post header by Quinn from a set play. And there he is, Kevin Phillips, classic Phillips goal, running in behind and lobs it over Illich. 35th goal in all competitions for the season, that one for Super Kev. However, another insanely good goal by Clive Mendonca. Just look, watch this one back and look at the touch he takes with the sole of his foot to control it. Brilliant improvisation, and then finishes with the right foot. But here come Sunderland again. They're going to lead for the second time. And Quinn, he used to do this. He'd sucker people in. They'd be so scared of him in the air that they would jump in when they didn't need to. And then he chests it down behind and drills it in with the left foot. Key moment though. Kevin Phillips goes off with cramp straight after this goal. And the most on-fire striker in English football that season is not going to play the remainder of extra time and penalties. And it is going to extra time because we've just 5 minutes to go. Lionel Perez completely on safari there. Poor goalkeeper. But Richard Rufus heads that one in. And it is 3-3 at full time. What a match. But extra time just keeps on delivering. There is Nicky Summerby, who also played for Swindon in the game against Leicester that we've already covered, the 4-3 Glenn Hoddle game. So Nicky Summerby, a bit of a legend in these matches. And Sunderland lead for the third time, their right footer. But, I mean, this is just incredible. Maybe we'll do a video on the best hat-tricks ever, but given what is riding on this game, I know everyone will give me Dennis Bergkamp against Leicester, make Dalian Atkinson for Ipswich against Middlesbrough. But considering what was riding on this game and the 3 goals he scored, what a hat-trick by Mendonca. That's been crossed in, and in 0.2 of a second he controls it. Really difficult one to control, and volleys it in. I cannot praise enough a sublime hat-trick by Clive Mendonca in this game. And it's 4-4, and it's going to penalties. And these two brilliant teams, 7-6 on penalties. The 14th penalty is missed. Just two really, really good teams that just could not be separated, could they? Michael Gray, you can find him on the radio now. He had a great career as well. Played in the Premier League for Sunderland and then for Blackburn afterwards. Did he end up at Wolves? I can't quite remember. He's the 14th player up, and he misses. Literally a Rizzler paper between these two really, really good teams. And surely, unarguably, the greatest playoff final ever. As I say, Charlton bounce, they come back down, then they go up again, stronger, and then a great run in the Premier League under Alan Curbishley. And of course, Sunderland literally the next season, 102 points, 103 points, I can't quite remember. Check my best ever championship teams video, best ever championship champions, etc. Sunderland in there. So brilliant, brilliant stuff. Really, really enjoyed doing that. My top 6 playoff finals ever. And I, like probably most of you, knew what the answer was going to be, that Charlton versus Sunderland, I think, is the greatest playoff final ever. But wow, what about Bolton Reading and Reading missing the penalty at 3-0 up? What about Glenn Hoddle? What about Ipswich after 4 seasons getting there? What about Scott Sinclair's hat-trick in the final for Swansea? And what about Holloway taking Blackpool up with just 70 points and Charlie Adams' wonder free kick? Brilliant, brilliant stuff. That is my top 6. As I say, playoff finals are very, very sentimental. I know, because that's probably the best moment I've experienced as a football fan, being there in 2000 to watch Ipswich. I understand, but please leave your bias at the door. Notice I didn't automatically just put Ipswich number 1 because it's my favourite. And I need you to try and be as balanced as I've been in the comments. So do let me know who would top your list. I suspect we'll probably all have the same 6 as the top 6. You might need to reorder them, but let me know if you think a different one should go in there, and get involved down there in the comments. As ever, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe on this one, and for more wholesome way to support the channel, please head over to patreon.com. Have I answered the question there? What is the greatest playoff final ever? You let me know if I did it in satisfactory fashion, and it's an over and out from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.